Modern Real Estate Practice, page 202. Overview. Various types of contracts have already been mentioned, but now you will learn about all the legal requirements for contract formation, performance, and termination. The real estate market is driven by contracts. Both seller and buyer representation agreements are contracts. Options are contracts, and all offer is the first half of a sales contract. Leases and management agreements are contracts. Even every aspect of a real estate business involves contracts, and everyone involved in a real estate transaction, even those who are not real estate professionals, should understand what a contract means. A real estate professional must know not only what a contract means, but also how one is created, what is required of the parties to the contract, and how the contract is concluded. Contract law. A contract is a voluntary agreement or promise between legally competent parties, supported by legal consideration, to perform or refrain from performing some legal act. The definition may be easier to understand if its various parts are examined separately. A contract must be voluntary. No one may be forced into a contract. An agreement or a promise. A contract is essentially a promise or set of promises made by legally competent parties. The parties must be viewed by the law as capable of making a legally binding promise, supported by lawful consideration. A contract must be supported by something of value that induces a party to enter into the contract and for a legal act. A contract is invalid if it attempts to have an illegal objective. Real estate professionals use many types of contracts and agreements to carry out their responsibilities to sellers, buyers, landlords, tenants, and the general public. The area of law that governs such agreements is known as contract law. In practice, real estate professionals may be permitted by state law to use contract forms drafted by attorneys and provided by their trade associations or employing brokers. A real estate professional cannot practice law unless also licensed as an attorney. The parties to a transaction, including buyer, seller, landlord, and tenant, always have the option of hiring their own attorney and should never be discouraged from doing so. Express and implied contracts. A contract is either expressed or implied. In an express contract, the parties state the terms and show their intentions in words, either oral or written. Most real estate contracts are express contracts and are written. In an implied contract, the agreement of the parties is demonstrated by their acts and conduct. Real estate representation agreements should be written in order to comply with the state's real estate law. Exclusive representation agreements must always be written to be enforceable. In addition, the state will probably have a statute of frauds requiring certain contracts, such as real estate sales or lease agreements, to a contract is a voluntary promise between two competent parties to perform or not perform some legal act in exchange for consideration.